What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Mar-a-Lago Minute.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you cons out there, all you bigwigs, or maybe you're an underling hoping to get their chance at the top. I welcome you in to the Mardu Minute. That's right, it's the same show you know and love, but it's got a fun twist for Cons League. This is the Mardu Minute. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. I am a 3-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and one time I became a bloodthirsty, raging, speed barbarian, I guess. I guess that's what's happening to me. I am in the Mardu clan, and the Mardu clan is the best. If you didn't know that, get on out of there. Turn off the show. Because if you don't think Mardu clan's the best, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know where you think you are. I don't know what league you think you're in. Because this is Mardu all day. This is the Mardu Minute. And that's what this show is about. Well, it's about the Arena Gauntlet League that we love and play in. This is Khans of Tarkir kickoff. And we have been separated into our clans. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. Oh, no, wait. I told Lata I'd do a news segment. So let's... Do we do the news first, or do we do the segment first? I guess news comes first, right? News is important. All right, let's do the news. Welcome to the Tarkir News Network. Our main story tonight: war and no dragons. Where are the dragons? It's 8 p.m. Do you know where your dragon is? But war and clans and factions and splitting. Okay, the news tonight is dire. We've been split into 5 separate, competing war parties, with a strong leader at the tippy top of each one. Jordan M. Oh gosh. This is why I need Lata to write this for me. I do stream of consciousness. I don't do well-planned written things. Also, there really isn't any news yet. The news is that the league is beginning. We have been split, and things are dark. Unless you're in Mardu clan, then things are the best. And they're the best they've ever been, frankly. We've got strategies. We've got plans. But let's go ahead and talk about it as we trigger prowess.
Let's trigger prowess.
That's right. Let's trigger prowess, everybody. The league has begun. Well, it's beginning. It's Thursday. It's getting ready. And we're all split into our little groups. We all got our secret chats, and we're building our pools. I got my pool, and I'll talk about it a little bit on the show. Why not? That's kind of what I like to do. Opened up 2 fetch lands. I came in going, as long as I don't open any fetch lands, I think I'll be pretty happy about it. No. Opened up 2 fetch lands, and of course, at least they're like on color, so I can play them if I need to. I am an OG Cons player. I did play Cons back in the day. I loved it. I still love it. I think it's great. I have noticed that a lot of the people that didn't play Cons back when it came out aren't big fans of it. Maybe we're all just those nostalgia heads who love it, but I don't know if you guys remember, but when Cons was originally out, they had like a little song they would play at the pre-release for Khans of Tarkir, and they played it, and it changed from Cons to Dragons to Fate Reforged. It was different every time, but this is the one they played at Khans of Tarkir pre-release, and I still have my copy of it. They gave out CD singles, and let's listen to a little bit of that now. This thing right here, this is letting all the Arena Gauntlet League players know what I'm talking about when I say this is one of these leagues that really brings us together. Check it out. Ooh, that deck's so scandalous, and I know another player can handle it. And GG them after the win, letting them know they shouldn't play you again. Thinking about doing a deck swap with someone else to help get to the top. There's your chance to take the top spot because you're playing Khans of Tarkir now. You got more, slip them up. I last like what? delve away the yard, yard, yard. I think I sing it again. You got more, slip 'em up, up, up. I'll ask like what, all league long. Let me be your con.
Trigger. Prowess, trigger.
Baby, that con. I like it when I trigger raid. That con. Crazy. So cool that they used to do that, and I hope they start doing that kind of stuff again for the newer sets. I know they do those CGI videos, and they're pretty cool in the secret layers and stuff. But I mean, I miss the really, they used to have really cool marketing department. Would do some pretty neat stuff. Anyway, I got some fun morphs. I got some fun delve cards. But like any cons pool, I feel like a lot of us are having this problem. It's like, what's the build? There's so many colors and so many combinations of colors and so many choices. It's like your minimum 3 if you're lucky, right? But it's in easily a 4 or 5 color set. So it's like there's a lot of cards to choose from. You start putting all those colors together. What's it gonna be? And how do you make your pick? And that's where your clan comes in handy, right? You post in your deck building channel. You get advice from the people around you. That's what this is all about. Have that team. How are you conspiring? What's going on behind those closed doors? I always want to know what's going on everybody's team, but I only get to know about my team, which is, of course, Mardu, and is, of course, the best. This is the Mardu Minute, after all. But no, it's cons. I'm hyped. Everybody's super excited about it. There's posts everywhere. There's games galore as I record at 4:30 the day before kickoff. I know there's chatter abound in our strategy talk. What are we doing? What aren't we doing? What's the plan? How about this? What about that? Oh, and I do have to say, I have a message from the Mardu leader, Jack H, aka Rakik, our King God Lord, Mardu Khan. For now, until he's possibly upseated in a very, bloody battle. But for now, Jack H. Rakik, you have my sword. You have my heart, most importantly. And frankly, you got my deck, if that means anything to you. But yeah, this is from Rakik, Jack H., Mardu clan leader. He says, "Don't mess with the Mardu clan. We have the greatest warriors in all of Tarkir. We're blazing, we're ruthless, and we will ride you down." Oof. I'd be shaking in my boots if I heard that. You kidding me? Everyone out there has to listen to this and then try to play, a fair game of Magic against us like they're not terrified. Jack H. Rakik leading the Mardu clan. You got me, you got Chris R., my buddy, won the Neo Partner League on the same clan. You guys aren't scared of that? Zach C., all these new players, everybody, Steve Stroud, Duncan. Oh, Duncan's in there. Remember Duncan? It's going to be a good one. Lots of people who I've probably forgotten and will feel bad at. So let's just say the rest of my clan members. Chris C., new player. Jeff R., also new, I believe. Joe T. Elasticity, not new. Kevin Ikani, 1993. Oh, Nick W. Wheelo. That's Kevin. I was just very excited. I don't know what that was. I'm excited you're on my team. You always do really well. Goombasa. We got Goombasa on here. Pedro D. Steve Strout. Zach C. Carr. And those everybody who I think is online right now. So if you're not there, I'm sorry. I missed you. But anyway. Yeah, cons. Everyone's hyped, man. I'm so excited. Everyone's just really excited for all the teams, everything that's going on. I can't wait for the games to start. And hopefully I get to become con at some point. I'd love to be in charge for a little bit, go back to my Riveteer days. Sad that me and Chris York are finally not on a team together. Very excited that Jesse's back. You guys see Jesse is back? Oh, I'm pumped about that. All right, let's stop shouting people out. Let's get on with the show. Let's go ahead and let's delve a little deeper.
Ever they delve deeper, down into the dark. And that is where they found it.
That's right. This week, I delve deeper with our Lost Caverns of Ixalan winner, who was our Ixalan Remastered winner, Jordan M., a.k.a. JM Tron, a.k.a. Amazing, Just Kai Khan, and just, wow, back-to-back wins, so many top eights. Uh, Incredible. Jordan's too good. Jordan's too good. Why is he so good? Oh my gosh. Watch out for Jordan's team if you're new or not on Jordan's team. That's I gotta get that in my strategy talk. Don't play Jordan's team. Uh, anyway, I sat down with our LCI winner Jordan. We talked all about Lost Caverns of Ixalan League, his Mega Draft win. We talked about any Khans of Tarkir tips and a little shout out and what he kind of had planned for his clan. So go ahead and listen to my interview with Jordan now. All right, everyone, join me as we delve deeper with none other than your LCI champion, Jordan M. JM Tron. Welcome to the show, Jordan.
Thanks for having me back. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been what, a month? Hey, it's good to have you. And you back-to-back winner. You won the last league, so you came on at the start of LCI, and then you won LCI, so you're coming on at the start of Khans of Tarkir.
Just call me the Master of Ixalan, I guess. So, or the Master of Pirates, since Breaches was the the flag bearer for me.
The Master of Ixalan. I like it. It's hard to ignore. And yeah, we were just talking about how your Mega Draft deck was like basically the same with the same bottom rare, the same colors, and just wow, what a coincidence that is.
Yeah, it was fortuitous for sure. Yeah, it just breaches into a bunch of pirates and artifacts, and didn't have to look back. My colors were pretty open, and ended up with a great deck. Yeah,
a great deck, a great pilot. I'd love to talk about it because, like I said, you're on about a month ago. You just came on for winning the last league. What was the last league? Oh boy,
Ixalan Remastered.
Ixalan, that's right, double Ixalan. You just came on for winning Ixalan, and you had chosen your path, right? Path 2, because you wanted to stay in sets. And here you are coming back. Obviously, it worked out for you. I'd like to know from your perspective, did you see path 2 really working out for you, or did you wish you would have chosen another path at the end? It seemed to work out pretty well for you.
Oh, absolutely. It's a little tough to know how much of it was the path and how much of it was, the starting, set of cards, which obviously carried me to very high record even before I started going down the paths. But I think staying on set ended up making a lot of sense just because of, the sort of best kind of archetype, or one of the strongest archetypes was sort of this crafting Jeskai artifacts, and getting as much of that as possible was pretty clutch for me, and also for Caleb, who also did really well in the league.
Oh yeah, Caleb beat me 3 times this league, and I'm not gonna forget about that anytime soon. Lots of 1-mana blue, whether they're merfolk that fly and make an artifact on their way in, or they're these artifacts that draw cards and then craft later, and it's just so much value over time from all these cheap cards that come down early and like are hard to really like deal with. I don't want to use my removal spell on there. 1-drop that already made the thing. Like, well, I'm not going to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, my league deck was just all cheap, efficient creatures that had created value, whether with a map token or finding more cheap creatures or artifacts. And it was a really, really good strategy. And I mean, I think it ultimately ended up that the paths didn't, like, to me, it didn't seem like it had a huge effect because we had so many of each path, like in the top 8 and like in the top 16, it seemed pretty even. So I think that was, credit to the designers for that happening. But I think ultimately, good pools are still gonna do really well regardless. And that's what happened for me.
Well, you started strong. You played strong throughout the entire thing. I ended up going. Were you first place going into the mega draft?
Yeah, 23 wins,
Wow.
which was pretty wild.
Wow.
Um,
So you didn't even get to
so
do like half, a lot of the challenge, like the path. You didn't get to experience a lot of the fun craziness because you just won so much.
right. And I had a couple packs from LCI for sure, but just a couple packs that like added a lot of cards to my deck and like really solidified me and this sort of like blue-white tempo aggro strategy. And a lot of the other packs were like not that exciting. But it just took a few cards to like push it over the top.
And it
Yeah.
takes you to the mega draft, and like we touched on a little bit earlier, you pack one, pick one. Your good friend Breaches, crazy pirate. You had him in your last pirate deck, one of your last Ixalan League, and what do you know? Another Izzet pirate deck with the same rare to help you win this Ixalan League. I mean, what are the odds?
Yeah, and truly very very small. I guess one in however many rares and mythics there are.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to pass it to me. Like everyone's going to take that card. There's only one pack of LCI. And then not only did I get to put it in my deck, but he also showed up in most of the games, early or late, but always had a huge impact.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was in your last Ixalan League. It's like whenever you needed him, there he was, and he was so hard to deal with. And
Yeah.
he does so much.
I mean, I will say he was better in the Ixalan Remastered Mega Draft because that deck was just all pirates.
Yeah.
And so he would often come down and, I'd get all 3 triggers immediately or something insane. But still, even casting him all by his lonesome, he was going to do some damage.
And the back-to-back win, everyone's wondering, everyone's asking, will this be the first three-peat in AGL history? I mean, it's hard enough to do 2 in a row. You got the chance to do 3. All eyes are on you, Jordan. I hope you know that.
I know. Every league I expect variants to come for me.
Oh yeah. One day it will, I promise.
And I don't know. I have some ideas we can talk about when we get to talking about cons.
Oh, we're there. Let's do it.
We're there. Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so you're going to be you're the Jeskai Con? Is that what they've announced already? You will be leading the Jeskai team?
Yep, they've announced me as the Jeskai Con and Sawyer as the Abzan Con.
Disker's at odds from the beginning.
I was joking with him about setting up an alliance, but I don't think it makes sense.
There could be an alliance, a distant alliance. 2 houses brought together. Oh,
through the love of Ultimate Frisbee, yes.
So yeah, you're gonna be. This is your first time being a family head, right? So, what do you got planned? You got any secrets you can share us on the pod before we get started with this thing?
Well, I don't have too much, exciting league-breaking strategies. But I think my goal as, I might not be the con for long, who knows? But it's just to sort of try to set up a good collaborative effort to get everyone's deck built well and ready for the league. And I did have, I'll say on the podcast, so I stay true to it, but I was thinking that I would just, because there's this weird mechanic, which is you may switch pools with someone of like this with the same number of losses as you or something like that.
Yes. Is there? Is that a thing? Have I missed that?
I feel like I read this and
it sounds like a thing, and yeah, you're right. I probably just glossed over it. I was like, I'm never switching pools.
Right, and I think everyone is like, is this going to happen?
Yeah,
but I think so for other people in the Jeskai Con, I'll just say, like, before we get started, if you want to switch with my pool and take mine, I will. No questions asked.
Wow, look at that.
So we'll see how charitable that is, or if I have the terrible pool that no one should want. But I just feel like being a leader, like you got to set an example and like be willing to bring up everyone else. So
Wow. There you've heard. I mean, and that's the thing is we can't pick where we go. It's all going to be random. So I can't say, Jordan, you're really swaying me,
right?
Because like I can't help where I go, and neither can anyone else. Like it's just going to happen.
This wasn't a campaign promise to get elected. If I was not elected, I was just put in charge.
But yeah, he's right. And this is a mechanic. It's in there. Morph. At any point, a player who has played between 5 and 15 matches may swap their current pool with that of another member of their clan who has the exact same record.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you have to play 5 games before it can happen. So you can't do it right off the bat.
Okay. Well, once we hit that 5 to 15 mark,
that's such an interesting mechanic. You're right. I totally forgot about this being there because it's like, I mean, what if you take a bad player's good pool and like, oh man, does that help you, or are you better off giving Jordan because he's going to win with anything? The worst pool you can't. That's exciting. Well, what do you do?
It also seems hard to line up, I guess, too, because you need to have the same number of losses.
3-way swaps are allowed, which I'm sure makes that even more complicated.
Yeah. Well, I've said it. So if someone has the same number of losses as me, but wants my pool instead, have at it.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. I hope there's some kind of I don't know, announcement or big thing that goes off in the pack generation when people switch pools or something. Some kind of now, Jordan has stepped down and given his pool. I don't know, given his pool to somebody else. I don't know. Steve, figure it out. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, really, someone should set the over under on how often this happens, because I could see it being like twice or something.
I totally forgot it existed until you brought it up. So yeah, I don't know. I usually get attached to my pool at least a little bit. I'm not sure what would make me want to switch pools, or I don't know. It's very heady. It's a very heady mechanic.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully no one takes advantage of anyone else with that. But again, it's hard to, because you have to have the same number of losses.
Yeah, so. It's not like you can be taking someone's 10-pack deck. Yeah. You can't game it? How do you game it? You can't game it.
Yeah, it seems the best case is like, hey, I have this pool that wants to be this heavy 5-color morph deck, but I just like don't really want to play it. Does anyone love that strategy? And I have a more aggressive
that could be fun.
Black. Yeah. So
because I want to play that morph deck, and I want to play that morph deck so bad.
Yeah, Concealed should be something. We'll see.
I mean, I figure you'll have a million lands, but it's like you got to have at least a copy of Secret Plans, Trail of Mystery. You got to have some of those fun cards that make it work. Otherwise, I don't know. I feel like you're not doing anything too crazy. I want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, there are so many amazing, rares that like I think everyone is almost guaranteed to have something, and then just the question of, can you make it work mana wise? Or
I mean, I feel like in week 1 you always have that hard time making a deck work. You just throw at anything that's a morph, and it's like
right,
anything work, like
week 1 should be a bit smoother, I would imagine.
Yeah, because it's such a slow format. Like I don't think you can really go wrong unless you're trying to build some crazy aggro deck that's not really there. Like just build some slow. Everything's a creature. I don't care about too much about what's going on. Like there's so much fixing. It's gonna work out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jordan, we asked the league for questions this weekend, and they never disappoint, and they didn't this time. So many great questions for you. We got to start with Jack H, aka Rakic. He'd like to know, how does it feel dethroning Raph as the best Magic player in the universe and follow up. Any tips and tricks for Cons League for the whippersnappers who didn't get to draft it the first time around?
Well, it feels great to throw in Raph. I mean, I just felt really bad when Richard was upset for best meme, so I thought I'd, get Raph for that. Although I definitely did it with some straight hands. So
Oh boy,
it's
Jordan
finished.
said straight hands.
But yeah, I actually qualify as a whippersnapper who didn't play
Oh boy.
in
Have
OG
you-
cons.
I've been curious as someone who played OG Cons and I'm enjoying the nostalgia. I'm loving the set. As someone who wasn't there the first time around, are you enjoying the set? I assume you're drafting it a bunch.
Yeah, I had some mixed feelings with it, and I had drafted some like flashback cons like on
Oh, sure.
MTGO before. I'd done an in-person um, draft with some of the Discers
Oh, nice.
somewhat recently, and I really loved it. I think it loses a bit of luster on Arena, the lack of pod play, and
Yeah.
also if you're not playing best of three, like those are aspects that like kind of hurt some of the best parts of cons of like having really sort of valuable decks that can sort of be maybe more aggressive or more defensive based on what you need, or
hmm
so I still think it's a really cool set. Like the design of the set, and what they did was obviously, just for the time it was so novel and intricate, I think. And so I think the fact that it holds up to today's sets like a decade or so later is says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm drafting it. I'm still loving. I'm still enjoying it. There's still so many different things you can do. Like there is the 5-color morph stuff. There's the Outlast deck, and then you get into that like big butts deck, which is kind of fun if you can find that and get that thing going.
The Kintree invocation.
Yeah, the Kindred Invocation, or even like the 3/4 that whenever anything 05 or bigger dies, you gain 4 life. You get a bunch of those 05 walls or something. It's you get that turtle. Used to love playing with that turtle. Had to play with that. But man, that turtle was super fun back in the day.
Yeah. It was fun. Like I think I said on the Discord that so going into the open, like cons had been like one of the worst performing sets I've had, just in terms of like win rate and stuff. And I did really well in the open and won money, and so like that makes me like the set a lot more.
See, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, maybe I wasn't there originally. It's I don't know, people are saying so this is so good that maybe it doesn't hold up, and then I won a bunch of money playing it. It's the best set.
It's like, yeah,
so good.
Yeah, funny how that works.
I get it, guys. I finally get it.
But I still have not played a lot of Concealed, so we'll see how that goes. Whether it turns into just soup or whether eventually people start putting together the sort of aggressive black-white warriors decks and start taking over.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens and how people try to play the meta and fix things. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
Joaquin E. Diabolic Machine would like to know, how do you get like 15 trophies every time the MTGO Vintage Cube comes around?
Well, the first step is to love Vintage Cube and almost do nothing else with your time.
You got a favorite deck to draft in Vintage Cube?
Oh man, there are a bunch. And one thing about Vintage Cube is that it has changed a lot over the last couple of years. And I think for the better too. So in terms of like strategy, someone coming into Vintage Cube might think of like, oh, blue is like this busted color that is just overpowering. And what's actually been true for the last couple of years is that it's honestly just not. It's just plain old counter spells like aren't good enough. And so you still have obviously Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, like these.
Good card.
Those are still power cards. But I think the threats and answers within the cube outside of like the power cards that are from way back in the day have become so efficient and so cheap that you have to be able to play to the board still or like have a plan to sort of combat that. And for a couple of years, like white aggressive decks were notoriously underdrafted on MTGO to the point where you could just wheel basically every piece of that, and you just would know like no one is going to draft white. They all want to do these crazy artifact decks that are trying to ramp into like one big spell.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana creatures that kill them, and I'll play a Swords to Plowshares to answer their one threat. So that was just like the strategy for a while. And I think it's moved a little bit more in favor of giving all the colors sort of like ways to like interact on the board or have combos that are quick enough and fast enough to do some damage. So I think it's really about knowing sort of what pieces go where. Like you're drafting decks, not cards, a lot of the times, like even more so than in normal draft. So just having like that knowledge, and that comes from like reps or from watching pros like LSB, who has been like posting vintage cube drafts almost daily for months now.
Are you a Storm player? You ever get out there start? Are you playing any Storm, Jordan?
I'm not a huge Storm player. Way back, so Underworld Breach kind of like changed that archetype to this like 3-card combo of Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Brain Freeze. And you can just kill people immediately once you assemble those 3 cards. But I would try to draft like the old Storm decks that are about like putting together rituals and Yogg-Will and for some reason that sort of math like eludes me so often. Like I would describe myself as like an intuitive player, and like Storm is just like very concrete, mathematical, like, and so it just take me forever to like can I kill them? I have no idea.
You just gotta hope. You just gotta try, Jordan. I don't know. We're going for it.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to 3 black mana and then down to 1 and then up to 4 and then
then if I can draw a removal spell and something that gets something back from the graveyard, I got him. Oh, I love Storm. Storm's super fun.
Yeah, but nowadays it's just easy. Just okay. I have Breach. I have Lion's Eye Diamond. I have Brain Freeze. I do love trying to put together like the decks that use a lot of like draw 7s.
Sure.
So Hull Breachers, the recent include, that's just kind of like a busted card that basically what it does is if your opponent would draw a card other than their normal draw step, instead they don't, and you make a treasure. So you cast that, cast a draw 7, you draw 7 cards, bake 7 treasures, and hopefully you can win from there since your opponent
that's just mean, Jordan.
Is empty-handed. But I love like Echo of Eons, and is another great combo with LED, because LED discards the Echo, makes the 3 mana, so you can immediately cast it. So I don't know. There's so much incredible stuff in Vintage Cube. I could probably go on forever, but would highly recommend people play more of it.
Yeah, Vintage Cube is it's like as fun as it gets, I think. And I haven't played it in a while. It's been a couple years. I haven't played MTGO, but whenever Cube came around, oh, that was so fun.
I mean, they have the Power 9 on Arena, so eventually we'll get a Vintage
Cubes
Cube variant.
They're better and better. They're getting there, They're still not MTGO Cube level, but no. I mean they're getting there.
Yeah, I mean this the nostalgia factor of Vintage Cube, or just like getting to play with those like fabled cards is certainly part of the allure.
Didn't Grizzlebrand on turn one? Is there anything better? Right.
I mean, these days, yeah, there's some new
Yeah, it's like these days. So you can tell I haven't played in like 2 years. It's like, yeah, 2 years
I
ago that was as good
it's
as it got.
no Grizzlebrand is still in there and still good, but and I think the Reanimator deck is one of the best archetypes. But nowadays it's Archon of Cruelty and the new Atraxa, actually.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just they do things instantaneously. You don't have to.
Right. Why pay 7 life to draw 7 cards when you can just immediately put them into your hand and have the 7/7 lifelinker?
Ryan D, the slickness would like to know what are some of your Magic successes beyond the AGL? Any other Magic communities that you are a part of?
uh yeah, so I mean I recently joined like Vintage Cube Discord that I've really enjoyed.
Nice.
And then the Discord slash Bay Area Magic folk. Some of them have played AGL, some of them haven't. Have gotten pretty active recently, putting together some in-person drafts. But yeah, outside of AGL, I guess successes, mostly just grinding away on Arena, and before that MTGO.
Yeah.
And drafting. Yeah, the one big thing was qualifying for one of the. It was I would call it, so I qualified for the Pro Tour, but during COVID, so I didn't get to actually go in person. But I got to do an online one where I did very poorly. But qualifying for that was, of course, amazing, and prepping with some other limited players who had also qualified was really fun. And some of them did great. So
that's awesome.
That was great. Very cool to see.
It's nice that even if you don't, do great, you can have a friend to root for. That's always a good time.
Yeah, the sort of having a team and like practicing like for it or for something, like that definitely is like almost the reward.
Yeah,
and then
you feel like you're doing the thing, right? You're playing Magic at a high level with a bunch of other people and just trying to help each other and get better and playing this big tournament.
Yeah. Playing against some big names and lose, but
hey, but that's part of the fun. I've lost to Reed Duke before online. I've lost to I've lost to some of the greats. Bob P would like to know, what is your pet card? A card you know is bad, but you will always try and play it.
Oh my gosh, I had very little success trying to come up with something. I'm
very curious as what Jordan would be like. This card's bad, but I'll play it. It doesn't seem like a Jordan concept.
It's tough to turn off the like competitive like side. But I'll give an answer for Vintage Cube of like something that I love, but I know isn't maybe the strongest, and that's anything related to lands, like the lands archetype. Okay. So they've like added Dark Depths combo into Cube. The classic one is Fast Bond, Zuran Orb, and Crucible, which the combination of which let you gain infinite life and infinite mana. But it's like a 3-card combo, and the cards themselves often don't do much on their own. So you're sort of just hoping to like put things together. But I mean, it's still powerful, but
yeah,
it's maybe not the best. But I have rarely in my life passed a strip mine as well. Or
that's just mean. That's just mean, Jordan. I love thinking of you playing Dark Depths combo. That sounds fun.
Yeah. And the newest iteration of Vintage Cube even has some like truly terrible lands options, like Spelunking, everyone's favorite card from LCI, which I'm sure you all know what it does.
It's a 4
Um,
mana, your lands come in untapped, right?
yeah, three mana. It's kind of like an explorer. You draw a card, can put a
Okay.
land into play,
See, I didn't know that part.
and lands that are untapped. So they have a bunch of like bounce lands.
It sounds like an Amulet Titan thing. Like it sounds like it's like a piece of the Amulet Titan combo, that card. That's what I always thought it was for, or something.
Yeah, they're like in constructed, like you can really build around it, but
Mhm.
it's pretty tough to get enough pieces to make it worth it in Vintage Cube. But there are occasionally situations where it's pretty good.
Uh,
They have stuff like Scape Shift and Valakut and ways to change your lands to all mountains like Dryad of the Elysian art. But
Escape from Valakut, is that still a thing? That alone should be good enough, right? That's
well, it
the
is
combo.
if you only have mountains in your deck, but that's pretty tough to do in Vintage Cube. So you also have to like play these cards that say your lands are every basic land
Oh
type
boy.
in addition to
You really got to work for it. Cody Race would like to know, what is your favorite dessert? How did Jordan like to cap off a nice little delicious meal?
So my favorite dessert is one that my partner has made a bunch. And it's a like banana cream pie tart type situation.
Sounds great.
And the key is the crust has just like a layer of like melted chocolate on it.
Ooh.
So it kind of has like the like the cornettos or that little ice cream that
Mhm.
so it has like that sort of aspect. And then I also just love banana and yeah. So the whole shebang is pretty awesome.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Nice little banana chocolate. Ooh, little treat. Boy.
Yeah.
And then his follow-up, do you have a favorite dessert?
Gotta go with the original, right? Deal one to an attacking creature.
There you have it.
Only at the end of the combat step, though.
Oh boy. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show. Always a pleasure talking to you. And I can't wait to see how it goes with the Jeskai clan here at the start of Cons League. I can't wait to see what you got planned. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. It should be a fun league. And yeah, and maybe the 3P is in my future.
If it could ever
I wouldn't
happen,
put money on
right?
it.
If it could ever happen, it's like you've got yourself 2/3 of the way there. That's the hard part. This part should be easy compared to winning
Yeah.
2 in a row, right? So like, oh, how cool would that be if you do, man? Oh, they've got to like put your face on the poster or something. I mean, come on, 3 in a row. It'd be insane. It'd be phenomenal.
Also, last I did prepare for Damien's question
Oh yeah, let's do that
of
then.
the artistry, and yeah, I'll send it to you to post maybe with the when you post the final
Oh yeah,
thing.
maybe.
But I did a drawing. I was inspired by Nick's token contest, so I submitted my own. It's a treasure token featuring breeches, and I think if you were to ask a random stranger how old the person who drew this was, they would guess maybe middle school.
And
That's
Damien,
that's the grade I'm giving myself.
Davian's question is, how is your artistic skills? If I asked you to draw yourself winning a game of Magic, could you do anything better than stick drawings? And then if you could provide proof that you could draw. Oh, and if you could decorate a Christmas tree, how would it end up? Are you a Christmas tree decorator, or do you not take part in that part?
We did not get one with recent cat who would have probably destroyed
Yep.
it and maybe himself. But the short answer is that I'm not artistic, and that if it was left to me, I would be surrounded by plain white walls and be boring little apartment. Luckily, I have someone who takes the lead on that sort of stuff.
There you go. He's just here to draft breaches and then beat you over the face with Is It Pirates. That's what Jordan does. Can he do it a third time in a row? No, because I'm pretty sure it's a Cons mega draft. But
I'll advocate for an LCI pack.
all right. Well, good luck in Cons and good luck to your family. Hope I'm in it. Hope I'm in there. And we'll see how it goes.
All right, thanks, John.
No problem. I love talking to Jordan. He is too good. And I love that he's like, yeah, come at me. Yeah, anybody that wants to switch pools with me, okay? I dare you. He's like, it's Jordan. You could give that guy, 30 copies of what's a bad card? Insert bad card here. Trumpet Blast. It's not a bad card. His deck would get 30 copies of Trumpet Blast, and he would still beat you like 95% of the time. It's insane what Jordan does. He is. I bow, Jordan. If you're listening, I bow to you. And that's it. I'm hyped for Cons. Cons of Tarkir. It's a classic set with a classic mechanic. Teamwork makes the dream work. Also, pool swapping. I wonder how that's going to work. If people are wanting to swap pools, what would make you want to swap pools? Maybe you see someone else's deck, you'd rather play that instead of yours. Maybe they see yours and think the same thing. Maybe you're just helping out a guy who's having a bad league and having a bad pool. I don't really know. But I'm excited to see it happen, and I'm curious what the strategy is behind it. Because I want it to work. I want to. Maybe I'll swap pools. I don't know. I mean, I'm no Jordan, but I am learning a lot from my good friend Jack H, aka Rakek. Mardu, best clan in the league, and he is the leader of it after all. And that's gonna do it for the show this week, everybody. I hope you're excited. I hope your clan is coming together, and I hope you guys are all, being the scheming little devils out there that I know you are. Until then, I hope you get to keep a good 7, and that the shuffler is in your favor, because that's what you need in Cons of Tarkir. It's dangerous out here, but there's no dragons. We'll see everybody next time on the show. Bye, everybody. I'm trying to think. I haven't figured out what I'm just saying for Cons yet, so I'm trying to figure out what the Cons mechanics are. What's Morph? Outlast? We're outlasting? Is that what we're doing? That sounds okay.
You got Outlast, you got Delve, you got Prowess.
Ooh, let's delve. Let's delve deeper. We're delving deeper. That's what it is. Thank you.
I guess Prowess will be my mechanic for my con.
Oh yeah, I missed that they'd already announced that you are a con, which I mean we got to talk about it. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. All right, everyone, join me as were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wasn't sure if we had started yet or not.
No, I'm gonna start us off.
Okay.